I'm willing to make the changes. Y'all are just so drastic.
Casey King became an overnight sensation after he was featured on Family by the Ton.
There needs to be a point to where if I do cave and I ask for it, that I have someone telling me, no.
But it's been about 5 years since the show ended, so what happened to him? Has Casey been able to keep the weight off since we last saw him? The truth about his weight loss journey and what his life is like today is honestly insane. When we first met Casey on My Family by the Ton in 2018, he weighed 711 pounds, but his highest weight was actually 845 pounds. He had previously been able to shed a lot of pounds, but keeping them off had always been a serious struggle. In February 2019, Casey and his 3 cousins debuted their overall weight loss during a finale episode. At his final weigh-in, he was 525 pounds, which meant he had managed to drop an astonishing 186 pounds after having bariatric surgery. The following month, TLC aired a 5-minute update on Casey. He was still following his exercise routine and strict high-protein diet. He had increased his activity level and was spending less time playing video games, but his ultimate goal meant that he would have to lose a startling amount of weight. Casey revealed that he was proud of himself for shedding as many pounds as he had already, but he was determined to lose much more. He hoped that he could drop a total of nearly 600 pounds from his starting weight, and his dream was to someday hit 250 pounds. Casey claimed that every time he accomplished one of his smaller goals, it made him feel even more motivated to reach the next one. He wanted to continue improving and eventually be able to have a normal adult life. But what happened after TLC stopped filming was absolutely shocking. Many viewers believed that Casey didn't have the willpower to stick to his weight loss journey. However, he was extremely committed to proving anyone who doubted him wrong, but that meant he had to make a lot of major lifestyle changes that were truly unbelievable. Since Casey's stomach was so small after the surgery, he could only eat a little bit at a time. He didn't want to end up overeating and ruining the process he already made, so he ended up doing something incredibly surprising. Casey actually started using baby utensils to eat so that he didn't get carried away with how much food he was consuming. He didn't have to use the baby silverware for long though, because he was able to stick to his diet and exercise routines really well. Casey signed up for water aerobics classes and went to the gym almost every day. When he wasn't getting his exercise and by swimming, he was usually hiking with friends or family. But how he celebrated the 1-year mark after having weight loss surgery was so crazy. In September 2019, Casey decided to do something that he never thought he would be able to do. 1 year after his life-changing operation, he participated in his first ever 5K. And what happened after that was seriously unreal. In the next few weeks, Casey took part in not just 1 but 2 more 5K events. Completing them still wasn't super easy for him, but he refused to give up. It turns out that his hard work was starting to pay off in some very impressive ways. In TLC's quick update, Casey had revealed that his short-term goal was to weigh 400 pounds within a year. That October, he posted a photo to his Instagram of a scale. He had managed to lose nearly 250 pounds since his surgery and weighed in at 398 pounds. But that wasn't all. Before Casey started his weight loss journey, he lived life through social media and his gaming community. He was too heavy to drive himself around and barely went anywhere because of his size and how self-conscious he was. But afterwards, so much was completely different. For a while, Casey had been interested in having a podcast, but he didn't even know where to begin. Then he and a friend decided to stop waiting for the perfect opportunity. They started their own podcast called Kings of Pop. But that wasn't the only incredible change in his life. Casey was finally able to start being the fun uncle he had wanted to be for his nephew Thomas. He traveled pretty often to Virginia to visit his brother and was more involved with the rest of his family as well. He and his dad had even welcomed a new addition to their home. Casey and his father had decided to adopt a puppy named Rambo from a local animal shelter. He hadn't been physically able to provide his first dog with a very healthy lifestyle, so he was determined to do better with Rambo. But having a young, high-energy dog changed Casey's life in an amazing way. Before long, Casey discovered that walking Rambo and chasing him around the yard every day was helping him lose a lot more weight. By March 2020, he weighed 350 pounds and was able to drive himself around again. What he did next was a huge step forward, having the typical independent adult life that he'd been dreaming about for so long. For the first time in over 10 years, Casey had an actual job. He was so happy to be employed. He had started working at Home Depot, which helped him improve his social life, financial situation, and his health journey. But even though he had turned his life around, people online were still brutally criticizing him. Casey no longer looked the same as he did when he filmed Family by the Ton, but people had made countless memes mocking his appearance from the show. Nobody seemed to believe that he had to successfully dropped so much weight, which is why he made an insane decision. Casey launched his own YouTube channel where he uploaded videos about his weight loss journey and life in general. It didn't take long for his extreme transformation to go viral, which caught the attention of someone truly unexpected. Ethan Klein, a YouTuber and the founder of H3H3 Productions, soon became aware of Casey's shocking weight loss. He reached out and asked Casey if he would be interested in sharing an updated version of his story in an interview. What happened next was absolutely mind-blowing. In January 2022, Ethan uploaded the interview to his YouTube channel. Casey had been surprisingly open about everything Ethan wanted to know, and they ended up discussing an unbelievable obstacle in his life. Even though Casey had dropped even more weight and reached his goal of weighing 250 pounds, his journey wasn't over. Since he had lost around 600 pounds in total, he had a lot of excess skin that was presenting major challenges. Casey had been experiencing pain and certain mobility issues for a while due to how much his skin was sagging. He desperately wanted and needed to have surgery to remove the excess skin. Although Casey had been saving up money, he wasn't even close to being able to afford the operation. But before the interview was finished, Ethan made a jaw-dropping suggestion. Ethan revealed to Casey that he wanted to create a GoFundMe to help him raise money for the skin removal surgery. But that wasn't all.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll set it up and I got $5,000 on it. How about that?
The same day that Ethan posted the interview online, he also launched the GoFundMe for Casey. He set the goal amount to $15,000 and kept his word to donate $5,000 of his own money. Within just 24 hours of the fundraiser's launch, Ethan's followers had met the $15,000 goal amount. But what happened next was honestly bizarre. Casey continued sticking to his healthy lifestyle and set a new goal weight of 225 pounds. But a few months after the interview, he still hadn't scheduled the skin removal surgery. The reason why he couldn't get the much needed procedure was seriously crazy. It turns out that Casey needed to have a different and very unexpected operation before he could even consider skin removal. In July 2022, he had a procedure to repair 3 super painful hernias, but unfortunately, there's another setback that's extremely discouraging. Casey recently admitted on his Instagram that he's hoping to have the skin removal operation sometime next year, but he won't be able to schedule until he saves up enough money. Apparently, the surgery is going to cost around $45,000, and his GoFundMe is currently just short of $20,000. It's disappointing that Casey hasn't been able to have his excess skin removed yet, but earlier this year, he did share an exciting update with TMZ. What he confessed was pretty insane. Over the last couple of years, Casey has been looking for love. He had never felt comfortable trying to date before, but even though he's still a little bit insecure about his excess skin, he's been putting himself out there in hopes of meeting his future wife. Casey said that although he's currently single, he's been enjoying many aspects of the dating scene.
Intimacy is great, affection is great.
He explained that he had never had anything other than platonic friendships in the past, but that doesn't mean he didn't want to experience more.
These are literally things I was starved for my entire life.
Casey shared that he would like to get married and have kids of his own someday, but according to his latest updates on his YouTube channel, he's planning on traveling more first. He recently got his passport and is going on a trip to Canada soon, but aside from exploring more of the world, he's also been grateful to simply spend quality time with his family. Casey has mentioned multiple times that he appreciates all the help his parents have given him. He even claimed that he owes his dad his life for everything he's done throughout the years. It sounds like his weight loss journey has completely opened his eyes and turned his life around. It'll be interesting to see what the future has in store for Casey. Hopefully he's able to get his skin removal surgery soon, but for now he's still working at Home Depot to save up money and is continuing to spread positivity wherever he has the chance. Now that we've gone into everything that Casey has been up to since we last saw him on TLC, I want to know what you guys think. Are you surprised that he's lost over 600 pounds and has been successful in keeping the weight off? What do you think about how different his life is now compared to when he filmed Family by the Ton? Let me know in the comments below.